Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Mr. Sean Locke.
Thanks. I appreciate that effort, sir. Thank you very much. Good evening. Hello. Hello, everybody. All right. Hello. Thank you for coming tonight. See my, I wouldn't call it a show. That'd be against the Trade Descriptions Act. This new material, you all know that, don't you? I need to dwell on that too much. I'm not going to be self-deprecating and apologise for it. I'm not, I don't need to. But yeah, it's new stuff. Some of it I've tried out before, went quite well. Some of it didn't go very well at all. And some of it I don't trust them, so it's back for one last shot at the title. One last bash. Luckily, it's not a topical show, because it's been quite a bad week. I didn't set myself that bar, that would be quite tricky, wouldn't it? You know, I thought about coming out in a Je Suis Charlie t-shirt, but I thought, I like free speech, but I like being alive better. So, in fact, to be honest, I'd rather deal with the hassle from wearing a Je Suis Ched t-shirt. I'd rather deal with that. I'd rather deal with that. I can't believe he's supporting that rapist. He's fucking I'd rather deal with that than take that risk. So I've been walking over here a lot just to remind myself what I've got to do, because age is a big theme in the show, and it's also just something I have to deal with on a daily basis throughout my life. So I'll just start. I mean, some of the material I have actually done before, like I said, but some of it's new. Sound like I'm going to start a song, fella. Lady of the Night. So let's just crack on, shall we? Yeah, seem like in a good mood. So they say, don't they? They say that the eyes are the windows of the soul, don't they? The eyes are the windows of the soul. And I was thinking about this, and I was thinking, but what are windows? What are windows? To me, windows are the tits of the house, aren't they? How often have you heard somebody look at a house and go, oh, lovely windows, aren't they? They don't comment on anything else about the roof or anything, just go, oh, we've got lovely windows. And they're nice windows, aren't they? And they're symmetrically either side of the front door, like tits, aren't they? And sometimes they've got a little balcony round like a bra. So I say, eyes are the tits of the face. That's what I say. And you'll all be saying it too. Catch on. You know, that's how sayings start. Someone says something wise, you know, and very appropriate, and goes, yeah. People go, yeah, of course, eyes are the tits of the face, aren't they? yeah, too true. Bloody right, you are. Yes, they are the tits of the face, aren't they? But then I was thinking, what are tits? What are tits? To me, tits are the knees of the chest, aren't they? They're like chest, knees in your chest, aren't they? Then what are knees? They're like the ankles of the legs, or the wrists of the, I don't know, you know. All I'm saying is, what I'm basically saying is, I don't really like metaphors. Why can't people just go, eyes? We all know what you're fucking on about. Another thing they say, of course, as well, don't they? They say you should live every day as if it's your last. And that's not just a philosophy, it's a very good excuse for not picking someone up from the airport. Yeah, no, I would pick you up, but I'm living every day as if it's my last. And if it was my last day on Earth, there's no fucking way. I'm spending 3 hours in traffic to pick your sorry ass up. It's like a joke, that is. It's nice to have a joke every now and again. Aren't they? You know, don't get your hopes up, there's only 2. No, they do no jokes, because they're not very fashionable these days. People don't really do jokes, so they talk about their lives, and they talk about their lives. And I don't want to talk about my life, because my life's boring. Most of my life involves thinking up jokes. Can't tell you about that, that'd be fucking boring, wouldn't it, you know? I don't really want to hear other people's lives. Most people's lives are boring, aren't they, you know? I want to hear about someone's life if they're stranded on a desert island, right? With 2 other people of different nationalities, right? And a genie turns up, right? Grants them all a wish, and one of them doesn't really capitalise on the opportunity. That's the real life stuff I want to hear about. But I was working today, because like I said, work in progress, got to sound. So I thought I'd do something. I thought I'd just go out and do something in real life and see what happens. So I thought I'd go to Greg's, because where my office is, there's a Greg's just around the corner. I thought I'd go there. It's a good starting point for a lot of comedy. So I went in there, and it was nice. It was quite pleasant. You know, the staff were lovely, and I got a bit of lunch, some soup, and that, and came out. And I came out then. I thought, That's not really material, is it? So I said to myself, well, think about your feelings when you're in there. What did you feel? What did you see? What did you feel? Well, I'll tell you what I thought. I was surprised about the variety of food on offer and how reasonably priced it was. I realised that's not material either. Well, actually, that's an advert for Greggs, isn't it? Then I realised one of the reasons I chose Greggs, I started thinking more about it, one of the reasons I chose Greggs, it's one of the few high street food chains that pays UK corporation tax. It's one of the few, most of them don't, they're based in some fucking Liechtenstein shithole or whatever. Swiss cunts. Sorry, I shouldn't have used that word so early on, but I hate the Swiss. I'd bomb the plug and flatten the place, you know. It's a country based around the fact they'll take any murderer's money. You know? The only reason they make cuckoo clocks and sell chocolate is so we don't associate them with blood diamonds and Swiss Nazi gold. And they kill our nanas. And yes, bring us your nanas, we will kill them. And that was my idea. They nicked that off me, Gigatas, you know. My idea for it was different. I was going to call it Hotel of Terror. But anyway, the reason I chose Greggs, we got a bit sidetracked there. The reason I chose Greggs was, like I said, they pay UK corporation tax. But then I thought to myself, is it a good idea to support someone's tax policy if it brings on a stroke? Thank you, you've been there. But then I thought, but actually, Greggs have made a lot of effort, a lot of big strides in an effort to give people healthier options. They've got salads and soups, things like that, you know, which is an effort that's gone largely unnoticed by the stand-up community. Because we're lazy bastards, and Greggs is a byword for fat bastards, you know. So anyway, this is the joke I came up with in the end. I said, I was eating Greggs the other day, right? I was eating Greggs the other day. And I said, I ordered one of their Moroccan spiced aubergine and courgette pasties. But luckily they'd run out. That's what real life gets you. That's what... Anyway. I never saw my parents having sex. Never got to see that. Which is a shame. I'd like to have seen that. I'd love to have seen them at it, hammer and tongs, pair of them, you know. Nothing too complicated, no sort of legs up like that. Just, you know, not even from behind, actually. I'd just like to see them at it. I'd love to have seen them at it. I'll tell you why I'd like to, because most people, they think, oh, I wouldn't see my parents. I'd love to, because that'd be like witnessing a reenactment of the moment you were created, wouldn't it? It's like the Big Bang, the dawn of time, the very moment you were created. You're witnessing people, and these aren't like out-of-work actors just shockingly going through the motions in the London Dungeon. These are the original performers. They were there at the dawn of time. They were there in the very beginning. Dad may lack some of his moves, you know. It doesn't probably start with loads of booze and drugs or whatever it did start with, you know. And it's like, basically, I see it like it's like a hadron collider up in your parents' bedroom, and you can go witness what's going on any time. I think it'd be an interesting thing to witness. You know, people say that a lot of your personality is affected where the stars were when you were born. I think when you were conceived, where your mum's ankles were might tell you a lot about your personality. Yeah? As my therapist said to me, I'm not in! I don't do it anymore! I'm on holiday! Go away, Sean! I don't like it! So anyway, let's chat about stuff we all used to do, you know. Do you ever used to do this? Do you ever do this when you were kids? Do you ever play walnut whip? Do you ever do walnut whip? Do any of your kids do that? You know, remember, you used to do this, everybody used to do this. You used to get a walnut, you know, not a cracked walnut, but a whole walnut, tie a bit of thread around it, very loose cotton thread, almost invisible, leave it on the pavement under a box, wait behind a hedge, wait till the fella comes along, hopefully bald, and he lifts it up and you shout, walnut whip, and you whip it away. You used to do that? It's great fun, wasn't it? I don't know. Walnut whip, baldy as well. Oh, God, those were happy days. Happy times they were. Or do you used to do this one? You used to find an old accordion. Do you ever find an old accordion, right? And fill it with sounds. Just fill it right up with sound. Then leave it somewhere like a bus station depot, you know, where the buses turn around. And then wait for a couple of drivers who are coming off duty. They go, oh, look, bloody accordion. Cut you out. Oh, God, the fun we used to have. Oh, God. Or do you ever do this, right? Do you ever get your wallet, stick it in your mouth, and drink a pint through it? Just drink a pint through your own wallet. Like, beer, buddy. Do you ever order lovely Thai food, no rice, and then make mashed potato? Whoa, it's disgusting, isn't it? Why do we do it? Why do we all do that? Why do we have beautiful, like, green chicken curry with loads of creamy mash? Mental, but, you know, I suppose it's just one of the things you do, isn't it? It's just one of those things you do. Do you ever fantasise like sex fantasies, like threesomes, with Mrs. Brown and Ouija Cranky? You know, then you walk into the bathroom, Mrs. Brown hasn't locked it, she put the tampon in, and luckily Ouija Cranky's not, because he's not uniform on, he's in the bath, so there's no weird issues there. And Mrs. Brown goes, oh, falls into the bath, Ouija, oh, yes, just, what's wrong with us? What is wrong with us as people? Why do we do stuff like this? Do you ever get on a train? Do you ever get on a train or anywhere, just anywhere, and just stare at your hand? Do you ever do that? Do you ever just stare at your hand? Just get on a train, just stare at your hand for like sometimes up to 20 minutes, look out the window for a second and go, oh, I don't like it, and then just stare at your hand again. You know? You do, because you do. Because we all do that. Everyone does that. People do that. People do, you know, people, I just can't believe it. How many people are just staring at their fucking hand for entire journeys? They're like trying not looking at their hand for a bit, and then they go, they don't go back to their hand. Occasionally they do that, they stroke their hand like that, and they go, everywhere I look, people are just on their phones, just going, just staring at their hand. It worries me, because I'm sitting on the train. I think train journeys are basically for wondering stuff, you know? I just sit there and I wonder things, I'm wondering things. And no one else is, I'm not worried, I'm carrying too much of the wondering load. I'm sitting there wondering things like, is there a Heimlich manoeuvre for cats? You know? They're always choking, you can't pat them on the back, that flattens them. I've tried the Heimlich manoeuvre, I've killed 3. Have flies, I wonder stuff like this, have flies suss spiders out? Because I spent a year, did a whole year's survey checking spiders' webs, didn't see one fucking fly. I think spiders have sussed them out, flies have sussed them out, rather. You know? Other stuff I wonder, what's going to happen when all the obese get Parkinson's? Jesus Christ, imagine that. That's going to be terrible, isn't it? All these obese people, they get Parkinson's. You know, we're going to have more earthquakes in Tokyo, aren't we? You know, we've got to think about this stuff, you know. Have you noticed, right, that as televisions have got bigger, England have got worse at football? Do you don't think that's connected at all? 66, won the World Cup, tiny little tellies. Now, massive tellies, we're shit. Do you think those things are connected at all? You know? And I was wondering the other day, do you think Prince Philip is Jeremy Clarkson's real dad? Because Prince Charles isn't a chip off the old block, is he? No. It's Jeremy Clarkson, that's why the BBC can't sack him. He can do anything he wants, can't he? And why, one thing I was wondering the other day is, why hasn't Mick Jagger picked up the phone, called up Paul McCartney, said, let's form a band with the 2 female members of ABBA and do an album of Clash songs with the Grenadier Guards? Why hasn't that happened? That's the sort of stuff I sit around wondering, you know? And I feel like I'm sharing too much of the load, too much of the burden, because everybody's there going, I realise what they are, those phones. You know why they call them smartphones? Because they make us look stupid. That's what they're for. They make us like, we might as well wear a ginger wig and just dribbling out of our mouth. If I do that, people think I'm fucking nuts, but I don't feel I'm any different to the people just going, and they're all doing it. Everyone's doing it. I've been in restaurants, I've seen like 4 people sitting together, and the only person they've spoken to is the waiter, just goes sparkling. I see those phones, they're a bit like tapeworms, aren't they? A bit like tapeworms, you know. Come with me on this. Bear with me is a good title for this bit of the show. You know, they're like tapeworms. They're like tapeworms for our attention. You know, like tapeworm sucks all your food out of you. These just suck all your attention away, you know. Because that's the level of attention a child would crave, wouldn't it? Just, you know, just holding it all the time, just stroking it every now and again. Children would love that. Yeah. That bit doesn't really end, does it? That'll happen a lot. We'll be used to that. But I'm concerned. I think because where everyone's plugged in, everywhere I go, it's not just on their phones. I was walking down the street the other day, walked past this house. They had, in the front room, they had the curtains open. This fellow was playing tennis on his Wii, like that. Playing tennis on his Wii. And what I was surprised by, he wasn't self-conscious or bothered in any way. He was quite happy for people to watch him. You know. And I watched him for quite some time. So I'm quite nosy. I'm a bit of a voyeur, I'm a pervert. Shouldn't be allowed out, really. But he's playing tennis, and eventually he spotted me. He turned up, he looked up, and he went like that. He went, "Fuck off." So for a laugh, I went, "Whoa!" Because I'm a bit of a character, and I came back like that, and he went, and he got it in the end, and we had quite a giggle together. He was moving me around. And he was making me bend, and he started making me do things I wasn't comfortable with. So. But I do have a problem with the whole digital world. You know, like emails. I don't do email. I've got rid of email. Got rid of my email. Just don't do emails anymore. Mainly because they're really easy, they're convenient, they're quick, and they're free. And I don't. Do I want that in my life? But also, if I don't have an email address, nobody can send me shitty emails. You know, because it's amazing the stuff people send you in emails. Really shit. You had this experience. But people will send you stuff they'd never say to your face. Quite rude, aggressive, quite hurtful stuff. They just bash that away in an email. And the really stupid thing is, of course, you know, they are saying it to your face because your face reads it. They must have. Their face wrote it, your face reads it. So it's basically like they said it to your face, but they just think they're not there. Although you know they are there because their name comes up. It's a bit like, do you remember Knockdown Ginger? You know, remember Knockdown Ginger? You know, where you used to get a dog turd, put it on someone's letterbox, get a bit of newspaper, set light to it, knock on their door, run off, and they come out and go, ah! Oh. Well, crappy emails are a bit like doing that, but you're still standing there. And they're going, what did you do that for? You refuse to answer. So the people I feel sorry for in this digital age, the trolls. You know, the people who do the really horrible, nasty, what they call it? What do they call it? Trolling? Yeah, they call it that, don't they? Trolling. They're the really nasty ones. I feel sorry for them. I don't think it's fair, because they get a lot of shit, don't they? They get caught, they get found out, they get humiliated, pointed out. I don't think it's fair, you know? I mean, because you can't give people a piece of technology that allows them to contact pretty much anyone on the planet and expect everybody to behave reasonably and decently. You know, to a lot of people, it's just a bog door. They just can't help themselves. If you give them that opportunity, go. It's a bit like giving a monkey, a chimpanzee, a machine gun and being surprised when it shoots everyone in the zoo. You know? I had no idea. He just went. Whack! I just took the safety catch off and he shot every fucking thing in the zoo. Even the squid. I don't know how he did it. He shot the fucking squid in there. He got it right in the head. I do have a real problem with the digital age. I mean, I think it's ruined. I can't see any benefits to it that outweigh the bad things. Anyway, you know. And one of the things that's really upset me with is travel agencies. You know, the high street travel agent. I think that's a real shame that that's gone. You know, because they're rarer than pandas now. There's a programme somewhere trying to mate a couple of travel agents. But they're not that keen. They're not that. You know, I guess they're both. You know, they're just not interested. I used to like going to a booking holiday at a travel agent. So it was nice, wasn't it? You go in. It's a bit like a doctor's waiting room, wasn't it? It's all these pasty-faced, ill-looking people. Desperate for sunshine and fruit. It's like a doctor's waiting room. And eventually you get seen by someone called Linda. And you sit down, and you choose your holiday based pretty much entirely on a photograph in a brochure the size of a postage stamp. You go, that was all you had to go on. Just trust Linda and go, all right, does that look like, it looks like a pool, doesn't it? Is that a pool there? Got a pool there? It would go there then. That'd be great. And you go, and you arrive usually at midnight, get coughed out of a coach. And it's not until you open your curtains in the morning, you've got a clue where the fuck you are. And, oh look, there's the pool. And it is the size of a postage stamp. Booking a holiday in those days is a bit like going on a blind date. You know, you go, all I know, it's called Zakynthos, and I've got a balcony. And sense of adventure, it's all gone, isn't it? It's all gone, that sense of adventure. Nowadays, people know way too much about the holidays. You know, they know more about the place than the people who live there. You know, oh, no fun, and everything's fucking booked up. What happened to spontaneity? That's been ruined by the internet. There's no spontaneity. You go somewhere, you want to do something. I'd like to go on the boat trip. Can't, booked up 6 years ago. You could book up for 2036 and you might get on, you know. You know so much about it. I mean, I've found myself looking at hotels I'm staying in. I know where the kettle is in the room before I get there. Someone going, yes, couldn't believe it. Kettle was behind the spare cushions at the top of the wardrobe. What a ridiculous place to put a kettle. I was absolutely gasping for a cup of tea. I spoke to the manager. He didn't understand what I was going on about because they don't appreciate how important it is to come and see your fucking cunts. It's made nothing better. It's made nothing better. Really hasn't. I miss it. I do miss it. I think some people always say to me though that the reason I have that attitude towards this digital age is my age. It's because I'm quite old. I'm getting old anyway. And I realised that my immediate reaction was fuck off. But then I've learned to control some of those reactions, and I thought, well, actually, I realised that I have a very similar attitude towards the digital age to the one my dad has, you know, and he's 83. You know. So I thought there might be some truth in that. And but he's not your usual, you know, sort of 80-year-old man, 83-year-old man. He's quite an interesting fellow, my dad. He's just recently, he's 83, he's just learned Chinese. He's just learned Chinese, yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? Well, I hope so, we only got him a single ticket. Fuck off, that's a good joke. He's an amazing bloke, actually. Very wise man. I remember when I was leaving home, I was 18, and he just stopped me before I left. He said, one thing, I'll give you one bit of advice. I said, what is it, Dad? He said, don't burn the Quran. And, you know, I had no intention of it, but, and this was the 1980s. We had no idea what was coming, you know? As I was walking away, I said, what about the Bible? He went, yeah. But no, he's 83. Good, he's got a very good sense of humour. He's not like a lot of old men that get grumpier and more miserable. He's got a very good sense of humour, my dad. Well, we have fun with him anyway, because he's got a hearing aid. Actually, he's got a hearing aid. And when we're sort of gathered as a family, he can't often hear what's going on. He goes, what are you talking about? What are you talking about down there? And I was taking the opportunity to have a laugh. I say, oh, we were just discussing, Dad, how it would have been much better if the Germans had won the war. Wouldn't it, Dad? Everything would be much better if the Germans had won it. You go, what? What are you talking about? Bloody awful. You know, it's like fun like that. What are you talking about down there? What are you talking about down there? We were just saying you think you're using too much toilet paper, Dad. You're using way too much toilet paper. We've got to find a way to stop you using so much. It's just not necessary to use that much. It's a lot. Dad, what are you going? This is all true, this. What are you going on about? We were just wondering whether as a young man you had any homoerotic experiences, Dad. We were just wondering... I don't know, the bomb shelters or something in the dark. You didn't know what you're reaching out for or something like that. It's actually funny looking at a very old man, because you realise, you know, when you look at them and you watch them, you know, especially you get to my age, I'm 51, right? You realise, I'm going to turn into one of those. It's a bit like the butterfly process in reverse. It's like going, I'm actually going to turn it. Because you don't see old butterflies, do you? You know, they're caterpillars and they're beautiful butterflies. You don't see old like grey ones just flapping, powder coming off them, just coughing. You don't see their dismal ends, do you? They live for about 5 days. They're all bright and colourful, then they're gone. You know, you don't see like shitty. But I think I'm going to turn it. It's like knowing you're going to turn into a walnut or a slug or something like that. As a piece of knowledge, as you walk around going, I'm going to turn into one of those. Jesus Christ, that's horrible. You know, I'm just going to get grumpier and grumpier and grumpier. Because most old men, not all of them, but most of them just seem to get grumpier and grumpier. So I don't know why. Because every day, the odds of you having sex again are just dropping by the minute. You know? It's terrible. I mean, I'm already at the stage now where if I look in a mirror, if you're a really old man though, you look in a mirror, it must be a dismal experience, wasn't it? Look in a mirror, you've got a paunch, you know, you're bald, you've got hair nowhere where it should be, everywhere it shouldn't, you know. I found hair on my hips the other day. I mean, what evolutionary part necessity I have for that? Like, oh, you need those hairy hips. And when you're squeezing through tight bits of the cave. Yeah, they'll protect you from those little narrow gaps you've got to get through. You know, you got hair there. Your balls are just horrendous. My balls, my balls are already looking like something you'd pull out of a Turkish stew. And I'm not eating that. Arse is horrible, horrible arse. My arse looks like a collapsed shed. That's what it is. A breeze can catch my arse. It just flaps around. Basically, age has turned the bottom half of my body into an instrument, really. If I fart, it goes on for about a minute. Like, and that's just what you can see on the outside. In the middle, at the heart of darkness, Christ, I've got piles, horrible piles, and they're just there permanently. It's like it's like my arsehole is pouting in anger. And all this. The worst thing about it, you look at all this, but then you realise the worst thing about this is the least attractive thing about me is my personality. You know. It's a very disappointing realisation. Page 1. What have you got for you? No, I'm slightly obsessed with age. There's a lot of material about that tonight because sometimes I ask questions to the audience, at the end. And this I was doing it recently. This kid said to me, he said, "Do you ever wonder if you're a bit too old for doing this? You're a bit too old for doing this?" And I thought actually it was a fair question because it's not a very dignified way for someone to behave, is it? Because you're supposed to be mature, right? You're supposed to be mature, sort of dignified, and just keep going till you get a laugh, Just keep going. But I thought about it. I thought, yeah, that's not a very dignified way. Maybe I should pack it up. But I realised I don't have a choice. I've got no choice in the matter. Because all the things that make me good at this job, a sort of withering sense of contempt for the world, just sort of mockery and disdain for everything I come across, an ability to spot weaknesses and gnaw away at them till they become gaping holes, and a total disregard for other people's feelings. All those skills, qualities, you may call them, I don't know, they don't switch off. They're not. You can't switch them on and off. They're just on. And if they're not pointed out at the sort of world around me, there's only one thing they do. They just go. I just started giving myself a hard time, going, "You wanker, Sean. What have I done? Nothing, as usual." What are you doing now? You can't even knot a balloon, can you? I was having a go at myself. Because I can't knot a balloon. Well, I can if I only blow it halfway up. Again, you can't even knot a balloon. I was going, I can knot a balloon. Yeah, it takes you about 20 minutes. You need a stiff drink afterwards, don't you? Well, it's a party. It's not a party with one fucking balloon, is it, Sean? Piss off. Why don't you leave me alone? Wish I could. I'm stuck here with you, you twat. You looking in the mirror? No, I wasn't looking. Yes, you were. You were looking in the mirror. Then what are you looking at? Wanker, eating porridge. I like porridge. No, you don't. You've only just started eating it a week ago. Think I'll make you younger, you fucking arsehole. Then I start patronising myself. I go, don't take your notice of him. Fuck off. Leave me alone. So I'm stuck. I'm stuck here doing it for ages. I was actually. My wife was quite depressed. I think she burst into tears when I told her all about this. Because I said I'll be here forever. I'll be here right to the very end. I'll be here about 80, 85 on stage. Just going. There'll be nobody here. I'll just be going. I would test the patience of even the most curious bypasser. They'll see a sign up saying, "Former TV comedian Sean Locke, admission free." And they just pop their head in and go, But yeah, I told my wife and she was quite depressed about it. She said, "Why don't you get some kind of hobby? Why don't you get some kind of pastime? Let me take your mind off things." And I said, "Oh, all right." And the problem is, I do have a hobby, but I can't tell her about it. She'd be furious. She'd go mental about it. I don't know. I probably shouldn't tell you. I do have a hobby. My hobby is I go on Mumsnet. I do. I love it. I just chat to other mums. Because they're so supportive and caring and considerate of other mums, and I really like that. You don't get that elsewhere, I just chat away to them, and because the great thing is you don't have to be a mum. All you need is an email address and a username. If you're a mum, no stretch marks, something like that, sleepless nights, labour, that. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's not really anything wrong with it. I just think my wife would prefer if I chatted to her about that sort of stuff. But I don't think there's anything wrong with it because I've tried to chat to them in the park. They're not interested. I asked them to hold my can while I was pushing my kids. Because you can't do it with one hand, can you? They'll be chatting away to other mums. It's nice, no trouble. I just sort of, all crying on the kitchen floor again last night, and they're all coming in and chat to me, picking me up, and giving me a lift. And I think they're onto me though, because I started a chat, a sort of forum debate the other day, a chat science subject, and I think they're onto me because I said, "Hey girls," do you think it's crazy the way we wear makeup? What the fuck's the matter with us? What are we, decorating a fucking cake or something? What's the matter with us? It's the equivalent of men sticking a pair of socks down their trousers to make them look like they got a bigger knob. Come on, girls. And that didn't get a very good response. I broke cover. They didn't. I pushed my luck. They thought one of them accused me of being sexist, which I thought that's outrageous. As a mother of three, I find that very. As a mother of three beautiful girls, I find that very, very offensive. It is ridiculous makeup, isn't it? What the fuck's the matter with you? Take it seriously. Zebra. You're trying to look younger. Yeah, just paint a tiger on your face. Yeah. Yeah, I know, and if it is sexist, I think it's fine sexism. You know, I see sexism a bit like where people see cholesterol. You know, there's good cholesterol and bad cholesterol. I think there's good sexism and bad sexism. I mean, if something's remotely true, I mean, I don't know if it's still sexist. Like say, for example, one of the sort of truth about women. Say, for example, everyone knows women don't like ketchup. That's just one of those facts we all know. It's a weird thing. For some reason, girls don't like ketchup. Women don't like it. I don't know why. What's the matter with them? You don't like it, do you? You just don't like. I mean, I read that book about it. What was it called? Men Are From Mars. Women Don't Like Ketchup. So that's ketchup or brown sauce, one of the two, I can't remember now. I don't do a lot of stuff. But I don't know, that's good sexism, I think, because it's very true. And also, I experience the other side of it. Men, I get a lot of it. I mean, I'll tell you one thing I think I'm fed up with, and I'm sure a lot of men are fed up with, is any time, if a woman asks me how I am, and I happen to mention that I've got any kind of illness, or, a cold or whatever, they always, every one of them just goes, oh, man flu, is it? I find that quite hurtful. But also, I think it's sexist as well. Basically, what we're saying is, you're a liar, aren't you? You're not ill, you're pathetic. What's the matter with you? Bloke sits out of hospital, like tipping cigarette ash in the top pocket of his pyjamas, got a drip, grey face. We go, ooh, bit of man flu, is it? Yeah. And what annoys me about it more is, it was funny the first time, but it's wearing a bit thin now. Get some new material, girls. Another one I get is I'm at an age now where pretty much everything I do, everything I buy, wear, attempt, is considered to be a midlife crisis. I bought like a complicated coat recently, slightly complicated. Wouldn't be necessarily the coat you'd assume a 50-year-old man would wear. I accept that. But there's no need for people just going, ha ha ha, when I walk in a room. Who do you think you are? Midlife crisis, is it? So I do anything, I wear a white t-shirt, people start humming the theme tune to Grease. I got chills and multiplying. What's it made in midlife crisis? What are you doing? All a midlife crisis is realising you're going to die and maybe thinking, I might try and enjoy the last few years, I mean, I don't want a motorbike. And why it's called a crisis, I don't know. It's actually quite good for the economy, isn't it? All these blokes buying this stuff. I was in a park, right, and they had pedlos, and I was bored, and I thought, why not? Why not go out on a pedalo? Why not just I'm sitting in the pedalo on this plastic duck going around the thing. I can see people just shaking their heads at me, going, look at him, fucking idiot. Trying to pretend he's not pedalling inexorably to his own death. Sitting there in his plastic duck tosser. It's not fair. So that's it's both sides of the coin. But anything I do in midlife crisis, I joined Grindr, right? I joined Grindr. You got midlife crisis, have you? No, actually, it's a very good idea. Not for sex, I don't enjoy it for sex. It's just if ever I break down and I need a push, I just think, oh, a load of willing guys will turn up. Give us a push, lads. Don't worry, when I've got to go in, I'll come back, suck you all off. Don't worry. Meet me. I mean, you can only do it once or twice. I'm cracking through it. Sorry, shouldn't have said that out loud. I'm a great believer in animal rights, big believer in animal rights, very important to me. And I think every animal has the right to join the circus or live in a zoo. I think they all have that right. People are trying to stop that. If I say, no, they shouldn't be in the circus, they shouldn't be in the zoo. They're happier in the wild. Of course they're not happier in the wild. It's called the wild, for Christ's sake. It's fucking horrendous out there. There's a good chance, any point in the day, you get your throat ripped out by a nephew. Just turn on you. It's fucking horrendous. The reason a lot of animals have evolved to be cute, right, is in the vain hope of being taken from the wild. The reason meerkats are doing that, they're looking out for the zoo van. Take me. Shit here. I could get murdered any minute. You know, I mean, and also, where in the wild is a sea lion going to get to wear a fez? You know? I rest my case. I believe, actually, I've got a theory. I believe there's two types of people in the world. There's two types of people in the world. Simple as that. It's very, very simple. Two types. There's people who think personalised number plates are fantastic, and the rest of us. That's what it seems to be. I was amazed when people got personalised number plates. I said, don't you know we think you're a dickhead? We all think you're the biggest cock driving around town. Nobody thinks it's cool. What the fuck is the matter with you? By having a personalised number plate, all you've done is you've given us a name to add to the phrase wanker. We can now go, Jason, you wanker! Well, I mean, I don't understand how do you get so blinkered from what the rest of us are thinking? How do you get to become such a dickhead? You know? I'm just interested in that process. I'd like to go back to someone who's got personalised number. How did you get to be such a dickhead? Because nobody's born a dickhead, are they? No midwife has ever handed a baby to its mother and said, it's a boy, £8, dickhead. Oh, thank God for that. I thought he was going to be a pervert like his dad. You know, I mean, I'm a bit of a dickhead, but I know how I got here. You know, I get accused of being very cynical. People say, you're very cynical, Sean. Well, of course I'm cynical. Who wouldn't be cynical, you know? Who looks around the world around and goes, yeah, it seems fine to me. A bit dusty in places, but apart from that, it seems like great fun. You know, I do things now to try and avoid being cynical. Like I've stopped. Like I don't read The Guardian, for example. That always makes me a bit cynical and depressed, doesn't it? I never used to read it that much anyway. You know, I used to read it the same way. You know, I felt like, oh, I should read it. Like going for a run or cutting my toenails. I better read The Guardian then. And you finish it, you just go, oh Christ. Then you go, well, I didn't know care homes were so badly managed. Thanks for that, Guardian. I really needed that in the back of my head all day, gnawing away. Oh, there's just so many cars in the Northern Hemisphere, there's a chance the world's going to flip round, is it? Oh, right, Jesus Christ. We're going to get fired into space. Christ, grim. Cheers. No, I prefer the Daily Star now. I read the Daily Star. Much better paper, because it fills your head full of sort of showbiz nonsense, and it tries to give you an erection, which I think that's a nice thing to do to people. It's a newspaper of criminals just reaching under you and just stroking your balls. There we go. You read all about the people who are in the jungle, and we'll just stroke your balls while you read it. You don't have to worry about a thing, do you, Sean? No, it's nice. Oh, Joey Essex, what's he said now? Oh, that's nice, isn't it? It's true, it's much nicer. It's a much nicer, safer experience. You know, trying to keep on an even keel. You know. And another reason I stopped reading The Guardian is they print the swear words, don't they? They go, yeah, we're really edgy. We don't like, you know, most papers will put the first and last letters and a load of asterisks in. The Guardians go, no, if someone says cunt, they'll print cunt. Yeah. Oh, you're so edgy. Okay, yeah, we printed it. He called him a motherfucker. And she said, you fuck off, you motherfucking cunt. And they'll put it out there like that. Yeah, we're really dangerous, really edgy. And I don't want that, because, you know, my kids, I'd leave it around the house, my kids will start reading it. And they go, Dad, what's a cunt? I don't want that, you know, I don't have that problem. I mean, they already know what it is, because they saw it on a bridge. So they're just going over old ground. I said, do you know what it is? Because you kept reading it out, and it was painted in 8-foot letters in Dulux emulsion on a bridge. Which I'm sure is the reason someone wrote it, just so parents have to drive through and go, oh Christ, was someone painting? I mean, imagine there's a dads painting over it, just so they didn't have to keep explaining it, you know. Because you can't, also, I've got to leave a paper around the house, you want to encourage your kids to read, because that's the thing, I've got children, young children, and you've got to encourage them to read. You can't discourage them from reading. You've got to be almost grateful that they're reading. You're like, oh, thank you for reading. Oh, it's great news, she's reading a book, brilliant, you know. Not going, reading a book. And, you know, and you can't discourage them, you can't criticise what they're reading, you know. And a bit of a problem in my house, because kids read those David Walliams books, and I've gone on strike, I refuse to read them anymore. You know, my wife says it's because I'm a bitter, jealous, twisted man, It's true, I am, but I don't like fart gags, basically, and I've said I'm not reading any more David Walliams books. I'm not reading them. My kids go, why? I go, well, don't say this shit. I just go, no, I'm not reading them. I'm not reading them. Because they're full of fart, there's loads of fart gags, and I refuse to read fart gags. I am a bit of a twisted, jealous man, you know. I don't want to see someone I used to work with doing better than me. What's the matter? Don't look at me like that, that's normal. No, because there's loads of fart gags, and I don't like reading fart gags, because they're the easiest. Anyone can do a fart gag. You can do sit around as a family, someone farts, and you all do jokes about it. You know, it's the easiest joke in the world to do, isn't it? You know, and the best thing about a fart gag is the noise, isn't it? You actually get to hear the noise of it, don't you? Whereas in a book, you actually have to read it. There's bits in these books where you go pop, and then you go, oh, what a stinky smell, said Mrs. Wopsit, or whatever her name is. And I just think we should try harder, we should maybe raise the bar. I mean, when I was reading books as a kid, there's no fart gags in Alice in Wonderland. Is there? There's no fart gags in there. Winnie the Pooh, perfect place for a fart gag. Not a sniff. Peter Pan, you know. No, you know. There's no fart gags in that, are there? Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Any fart gags in there? No, there's no fart gags in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. You know, you're like, oh, Jesus, oh dear, oh, blimey, said Heidi as she brought the goats in from the field. Oh, sorry about that, said Tinkerbell as she flitted across the London rooftops, sprinkling fairy dust and a faint smell of shit. I wouldn't go in that wardrobe for 10 minutes, said Aslan. I've dropped my gut, something rotten in there. Yeah, you just don't need them. I just wanted to raise the bar a bit, you know. So my wife said, no, you're just jealous. And I said, yeah. I said, well, probably I am. I said, because I'm a dickhead, you know. And the old kids got round and, you're jealous. I'm humiliated once again in my own home. Because I'm a dickhead. No, I'm actually an arsehole. I'm an arsehole because my mother's hammy. It's £10 arsehole. There you go. You know, so she said to me, well, what are you going on about? She said, why don't you write one? Why don't you write one? I said, yeah, I could easily write one. She said, why don't you go and do it then? Go and do it then. I went, oh, I will. She said, well, go on, go and do it then. She said, and do it in the time you said it took him to write them. I said, well, what did I say? You said it takes longer to read them than it does to write them. So I went, oh, did I? Did I say that? Did I? Oh, brilliant. So I thought, right, I will. Fucking hell, I will. I went off, right? I didn't write one, I wrote 3. And what I did was I thought I'd capture the full kids market. I do like under 5s, under 6s. I do the sort of young kids, and I'll sort of get the early teenage market. You know, to 3 in 4 hours. I did that piece of piss. That's how easy it is. You know, if you want to make a bit of money, just write a fucking kids book. The first one, I thought we've got Bob the Builder, we've got Fireman Sam, haven't we? We've got I forgot his name now. Postman Pat. We've got Postman Pat. I thought what we need is a prison guard. You know, teach kids about the consequences of their actions. I think that'd be good, wouldn't it? You know. So I thought a person the prison guard, but there's already a person the park keeper. So I went for Simon the Screw, and he actually drives the van from court to jail. So you know, you get that sense of like, oh, they're just going in, and they're all nervous, and he's quite reassuring presence. And instead of a cat like Postman Pat, he's got a little spider that goes around all the little cells within the van. And he hears the criminals regretting their actions, going, I mean, obviously they'd be going, shit, bollocks, wank, fucking can't put that in the book, so they'd be going like, oh, must stop being so naughty. Bloody DNA. Foiled again, you know. Why can't I just be good? You know, stuff like that. And kids will think about this stuff. And his character comes around with him, he's got a blanket over his head, never explained. And his best mate's a judge with no self-confidence. And, he doesn't know what sentence to give people, so they share a Twix together before every sentencing, and Simon the Screw puts him right, you know. And you can see how that, loads of adventures, easy, you know, that's the whole series, run and run, TV, films, everything. Be a multi-millionaire, that's done. The next one, right? The next one, I'm going to tighten this all up before it goes actually out into the world. I do appreciate this, bear with me, it would be good if it flushed up in lights, I might have that. The next one, right, is for the slightly older kids, and it's called Gout Boy. And in fact, this boy has got gout. He's got really bad gout, because his mum drank so much in pregnancy, gave him gout. And he's got terrible gout, and also he's got slightly flattened, sort of peanut-shaped head because he was born on a dance floor during a Chumbawamba medley. And as with most, that Disney thing, they're having a lot of stuff now. Like you have to have some tragedy. His dad's dead. He got crushed between two trucks at a U2 gig. I don't know, something like that. I don't know. Doesn't matter, really, is it? They don't ask any questions like that, but so that. And you think, cool, couldn't get worse than this. His dad's recently converted to Islam and he's trying to radicalise him all the time. So, like, he's got a lot on his plate, this kid. But luckily, he bumps into a magical cat called Ronnie. Because you can do that in kids' books. Stick a fucking talking cat in. Nobody asks. They go, why is there a fucking cat in here? And this cat can meet people and knows their innermost secrets. And they go off and have loads of adventures. Hey, lovely. That's another one. Massive franchise, millions of pounds. But the third one, which I think is the best one, is for the sort of, 12-ish market. It's a slightly conceptual book. You know that book... The Curious Case of Benjamin Button? You know that? Do people know that generally? Yeah. Well, it's like that, but it's just the legs. So he's born a baby, but with really old man's legs. And as he gets older and older, his legs get younger and younger and younger. And when he's really old like that, he's got his beautiful little baby's puffy feet. He's going, oh, look at his lovely little feet. He's coughing again. I think, they'll love that as a sort of, as a concept, There's a point when he's 30, it all matches up. But it's winter time, so nobody notices. So he doesn't really get the benefit. And he goes like on Japanese TV shows, gets on Oprah, stuff like that. He's an outsider, which is how teenagers feel. So that's what I thought, Easy, it's 4 hours, 3 books, brilliant. Yeah. Don't know if that's a highlight or not. But it's there's a lot of effort, a lot of time put into entertaining kids these days, isn't there? There's a lot of money in it. It's a very lucrative area, and it's pretty easy as well because you just need to wave something shiny at them, they're happy. Any bit of attention you give them, it's really easy. You can do what you want. But I know I sound cynical, but there's actually one thing I'm really looking forward to. There's one thing coming back, one franchise that's coming back, which I'm quite excited about, which is, of course, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise. They're coming back. They're being rebranded, relaunched. And I'm genuinely excited about that. Because I just think they're the most rounded characters in the history of Hollywood. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, And I don't know if you know the story about how they came up with them. I always like to imagine this. The story is that there were some guys in Hollywood in a studio trying to come up with a new superhero character, and they're in the room, and it's Friday about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and they're trying to come up with something, and those guys going, I don't know, a really big mouse, and going, shut the fuck up, you're being fired today, that's it. There's a snake on wheels, that's shit. And eventually this guy said nothing for weeks, just goes, turtle. And he goes, what do you say? Turtle. Wow, nobody's ever thought of that before. And he starts to get a bit of wind in his sails, and he goes, yeah, turtle, kung fu turtle. Yeah, I like that, like a ninja turtle. Yeah, like a ninja turtle. And it's been in a nuclear accident. He has it's like a mutated ninja turtle, a mutant ninja. It's a teenager as well. Wow, that's fucking great. It's a teenager who's a turtle. It's been a nuclear accident, and he can do kung fu, and he fights crime. And the only tragedy there is that he stopped there. Shit, it's 5 o'clock, let's go home. That was it. Because they could have added so many great characteristics to that. They could be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They could have been, we're obese. Hey, what if they're obese? They're really fat because they eat so much pizza, they're really fat. No, but they're vegetarian. Vegetarian, obese, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. They're fucking how difficult it is to get obese on a vegetarian diet, just shoveling lentils, the amount of lentils they'd have to pour down their fucking necks while they're fighting the crime and still suffering the effects of the accident. And they're bald, they've lost all their hair because of the nuclear accident. They're bald, vegetarian, obese, teenage mutant, alcoholic as well. They drink to wipe out the memories. They're alcoholic, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Any suggestions, any more characteristics? Please help me. Anyone got any ideas? How many characteristics they could have? They've got AIDS. That's not going to work for the kids market, but we can hide it, we can bring that out, and the major thing, they got they got AIDS because, you know, if you're a turtle, you know, just stuff washes through you all the time. You're going to catch something somewhere, and that's the least they've got, you know. Anything else?
Schizophrenic.
They're schizophrenic. They're they fight crime, and then they do crime. They don't know what they're doing. 1 minute, the turtles are behind you fighting. Next minute, they're beating the shit out of you. You know, what the fuck's the matter with you? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Ginger.
Jesus, these poor, do you think there isn't enough on their plate as it is? They've actually got ginger shells. They've got ginger shells, which is one of the reasons for their schizophrenia, because the front's purple, because they're half Korean purple turtles and half Irish. There's half Irish ginger turtles with schizophrenia. Anything else? What? Ram eyes. What was? Are they rabbis? Do you pronounce your B's? Do you know? Have you got like Jonathan Ross has got, just with B's? That's a load of mollocks, that is. He said ram eyes, didn't he? He said ram eyes. I heard an M. I didn't hear an M there. So they're rabbinical. They've got to do major services. I don't know, I'm not Jewish. They've got to go to synagogue. They've got to give out advice whilst being obese and very untrustworthy because they're changing their mind every 5 minutes. That's very tricky. They've got the stuff on, all the gear on, covered in fucking lentils, pissed off their face. It's a miracle. How did we get this rabbi, this turtle rabbi? I don't know. I don't trust the guy. I don't trust the guy. He's been here for years. You've got to know the guy. He's different. Any more? Wrestling?
Cross-dressing.
What is the matter with your diction, man? Is it me? Is it? Cross-dressing. They've got shells on, and then next minute they've got a little boob tube and a miniskirt. They just slip in and out of it all the time. They haven't got enough problems as it is. They've also got a very challenged sexuality. A sexuality they haven't really ever come to terms with. Perhaps that's why they drink so much and eat so many fucking lentils. Poor. Imagine that, given that as an actor, as a brief to an actor. You say, the research, get Ben Kingsley, say, the research you'll need to do for this part is just incredible. You're a turtle, not just a turtle, because you've been in a nuclear accident. And you've turned into a teenager who also does kung fu, you're alcoholic. Imagine the work you can do on that. You're a rabbi, yes. Yes, Ben, you've probably already covered that somewhere in the part of your career, but you can use that. And I've forgotten them all now. You might cross-dressing, yeah. Yeah, AIDS. I thought the AIDS was poor spirit, really. It's very helpful with the comedian. He was trying to just fuck me up there. I was just squirted something at me, and he goes, deal with that, fucking specky old bastard. Yeah, some nights it's the closer, other nights it's just the end. No, I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. The only thing I'm worried about is, obviously, I'm going to have to go and see it at the cinema. I'm going to take my kids to see it at the cinema. And it's an experience that's been ruined for me, but I'm sure it's been ruined for many of you. And that's something that really upsets me. So it's an issue that I don't think is dealt with. Certainly, if I was an MP, I'd raise it in Parliament. Which is the unreasonable, exorbitant price of cinema food. It's just got out of hand, isn't it? It's spoiled the cinema experience for me completely. I have to go to the cinema. My kids want to go to the cinema. I have to go to the cinema. But it absolutely pisses me off to the very core. You know, I was in the cinema the other day. Actually, I tried to have a bit of a laugh with the woman with the kiosk. I said to her, I said, blimey, I said, I've spent more on the food than I did on the tickets to see the bloody film. She didn't laugh. She just stared at me. And as I went away, I turned to the bloke behind me. I said, oi mate, careful what you spend on the food. Careful you spend the food. You'll be spending more on the bloody food. You went on a ticket to see the film. And he ignored me and just walked past me like that. I went over to my wife and said, look how much we spent on the food. Look how much we spent on the bloody food. We spent more on the food. We didn't see the ticket to see the bloody film. And she went, well, we're hungry. I said, what's the matter with everybody? Can't you see the truth? You know? Eventually I got something off the usherette. I went over to the usherette and I said, never had a laugh there before. You've been quiet the whole fucking night. Mind you, that's my fault. I went over to the usherette and I said, I was giving her the ticket. I said, see what? I said, price of food, this should be free. She went, yeah. I was happy with that. I'd take anything of that. But the price of the food is disgusting, the price of the food, isn't it, in the cinemas? It is disgusting, you know. I've taken my own food in now as a process, you know. You have to smuggle it in. Like, it's quite tricky with popcorn. I have to wear a big false beard and I hide it throughout the beard. Hand it to my kids throughout the film. The other day I smuggled a barbecue in disguised as a wheelchair. I dismantled it like an assassin's rifle. It's very clever. What I did was I put put a blanket and sunglasses on a rack of lamb. So there's banana. It's not But I've got a theory, it's the price of the food. I reckon that's the reason people are so comfortable littering in cinemas, you know. It's incredible the litter in cinemas. And people who'd never considered littering normally, they're quite comfortable just going, yeah, just finish your drink, just shit flying everywhere. You know, you just think they don't bother, they just think, oh, fuck you, I paid so much for this fucking thing, I'm going to chuck it anyway. Punting boxes around the cinema. Lights come up, place looks like a landfill site, doesn't it? Sometimes to get my money's worth, I drag a couple of old mattresses down like that. And that. Yeah. Give me this fucking car batteries. It's fine. It's fine if you're watching a film like, let's say, like Alvin and the Chipmunks, the Squeakquel. You know? There's no film like that because they're quite messy bastards, chipmunks, aren't they? They're mavericks, you know. I don't give a shit, chipmunks, you know, that's what we like about them. You know, they just get on and do what they want to do. And by the way, very good film. If you get a chance to see it. Alvin and the Chipmunks, the Squeakquel, if you get a chance to catch it, a really good film. Right? It's an incredible film, actually, because, I'll tell you what, at the start of that film, I was sitting there, I'm thinking, well, there's no way this chipmunk group is going to win the band competition and save the high school. It's not going to happen. I don't even know why you're filming this. What's the point of filming this? What's the point of upsetting me and my children? The sense of tension was unbearable throughout the film. I mean, at the start, Alvin, he's got a solo career, so why is he going to come back and join a band to save the high school? He's out there making his own career. Half an hour before the band competition is about to start, two of them are still kidnapped. I'm sitting there going, stop it now, just stop the film now. It's not right, I don't want to see this, I don't want to see this happening, right? But somehow, I don't know, those little guys, they pull together, right? And they bloody do it! Oh, I came out there, I was literally walking on sunshine like this. I thought, wow, anything is possible. You've got to see it, it's an amazing film. But, like I said, in a film like that, you know, a bit of the litter doesn't bother you. But if you're going to see like a really sort of tender, moving European art film, you know, maybe shot in black and white, you know, very, very poignant piece of work, you know, maybe about two brothers. The film's all about two brothers who just don't get on, you know, they've never got on, they're totally different people, you know, it's just a coincidence, they happen to be related, you know, they lead very different lives. One's a butcher, the other one's a vet, you know, subtle stuff like that. And they're forced to confront each other one day when they have to move back in to care for their dying mother. And that's quite a competitive experience, as they're trying to look after each other, but not getting snarling at each other. And it's a very unpleasant scene. And eventually she dies, and they're clearing out the house, and they realise it's maybe the last time they ever see each other again, you know? Until they stumble across her designs for a talking car. Oh yeah, because she was a car designer in the 70s when chauvinism meant that female car designers didn't get a look in, and a lot of that frustration, that's what really killed that woman, you know, the glass ceiling, and it ate away at her and finally killed her. And they decided to put aside their differences, and in her memory, they're going to go and build that bloody talking car. There's a great scene, you know, really uplifting scene, and they go open their big garage like that, and they get the floor, and they start making the talking car. You really get it, wow, they're going to make this talking car as a testament to her memory. And at that point, their dad, who abandoned them 35 years ago, he turns up. With his boyfriend, right? A one-armed juggler from Pakistan. with a twitch, really pronounced twitch, like not just a mild one, like, what? Oh, that's ridiculous, like, you go, I can't believe that, you know. It's almost so big you couldn't mention it, he's like that all the time. And he's got a really foul-mouthed parrot who's just filthy, just talking, just filth all the time, like that, just shit, bollocks, wanker, cunt, just non-stop coming out of this parrot's mouth. And you go, oh, this is a bit strange. Good job it's in Swedish, because you just go, fuck. And a lot of the swear words he learned while his owner was learning to juggle, like, oh, shit, bollocks, fuck, shit. That's my favourite gag in the show. Anyway, they don't spend a lot of time with the brothers because they're young love, they've just met, you know, they're upstairs in the main bedroom at it, hammer and tongs. And it's all very tastefully shot, no close-ups, just a glass of water quivering on the sideboard. And eventually the brothers finish the car. They finish the car and they switch it on for the first time and they hear their mother's voice. She goes, you built it, you made me, I can't believe you did it, and you did it together, I'm so proud. And for the first time in their life, those two brothers, they hug, and it's a very tender, moving moment. But the parrot, who's fed up with all the goings on upstairs, is perched on a radiator and mocks them, like, wankers, pair of wankers, look at you, wankers. And in an outburst of fury and grief, they grab the parrot and they're smashing his head on a radiator like that. There's blood spattering all up the garage walls. And the boyfriend hears the distressed squawks of his beloved parrot, and he comes down and he attacks the two brothers with his one good arm, like that. But it's a bloody good arm, because he's a joker, it's a very good arm. He's fighting the two of them there, and he's got an erection as well, which is quite tricky, fighting someone with an erection. And this is all going on. The dad comes down. What does he do? Does he help the two sons he abandoned all those years ago? Or his new lover? Being the coward he is, he jumps into the talking car of the woman he abandoned all those years ago. And he drives off. And all you can hear is her voice going, no! Not you! Anyone but you! Can you imagine? A very tender, poignant moment like that. A box of nachos hits you in the face. Imagine. Ruins the film. But it is, I can't get over the price of the food, I really can't. Some people say I'm going on about it a bit too much, I don't care really. I'm like the Russell Brand of cinema food. Ouch, something happened. No, I do think it's incredible. Oh, I don't understand why they would do that to me though. That's the thing I don't get. You see, I go to the cinema, I go to the cinema and I go along in good faith, usually see a kids' film, usually go and see a kids' film, you know. And most kids' films have this kind of sort of neoliberal message, don't they? You know, they do. They all have this sort of message, sort of feel-good message that, you know, that material things aren't important in life. You know, that money doesn't matter. What really counts are loyalty, family, friendships. You know, things that money can't buy. You go along like that, you know, with an open mind. You know, basically saying to you that just being nicer to people will change. That your problems aren't political. All your problems are emotional. If you can just be a bit nicer to people, you know, the world will be a better place. You know, that's not the message. And you go in there, but just before you go in to get that lovely neo-fucking-Christian bullshit message, we're just going to charge them 14 fucking quid! There you go, take that! Fucking... for some fucking popcorn! £14 for the fucking... Go in there, listen to this fucking bullshit message, you fucking monks, about how money doesn't matter! And here's fucking bottle of water, 3 quid! It's 75 pence round the corner. Fucking go in and watch your fucking bullshit film. And we should all be not nice to each other. I think it's a good point. There. Anyway. Funny place to end, really, that, isn't it? Thank you for bearing with me. Maybe like my catchphrase like 1940s coming. Thanks for bearing with us. How we get there, early days. Anyway, any questions? Anyone got any questions? Brought up any stuff?
How do you think of stuff like that? Where does it come from?
I don't have any choice, really. No, I sit in a room on my own with nothing in it, just me and a desk. No phone, don't take my phone in, don't take anything in, don't take a computer, nothing. Because I can't be trusted on a computer. No, I mean, I just won't, I'll go and do any work. Like the sort of guy who look at porn, you know. No, I just sit there and that's what happens. Sound like a judge. How on earth did you get to the stage where that passes entertainment? Of course, in the 1930s, people had to do stuff like this to get a laugh, didn't they? It's just the times we're living in. If bombs are dropping, I'd be doing that. Imagine that. You did that now, people just go, fuck off. I don't know, it's an affliction. It's early days, like I said, polish up. It'll all be lovely and cosy and sort of family friendly by the time I finish with it. It's funny actually, a lot of comics, they finish off, they manage to pad out the last 15, 20 minutes of the show with audience questions. They build up such a rapport during the show. I just see a load of faces that feel like they've been sitting opposite a nutter on a train for too long. And just as it's pulling into Manchester Piccadilly, goes, "Have you got any questions for me?" Just talking non-stop. No, we haven't actually, no. I'm meeting some friends, quite a lot of friends. Everyone knows where I am. So, anyway, you've been a great crowd. Thanks very much for coming. And, I don't know, it'll turn into something eventually. My next gigs are in Norway. How do you think they'll like it? The reason I did with this is I've got to do some gigs in Norway. I didn't want to go with just sort of, all my old stuff. So I will do some of it, but they'll like it, won't they? Yeah, they will like it in Norway because cinema food's fucking expensive. I should have written some material about Norway, shouldn't I? Anyway. Just had a bit of talent, it'd be nice, wouldn't it? I could sing a song, play an instrument, do some impressions. I do, that's bound to be someone, isn't it? I leave you this. It's an old joke of mine, but it always works. I do quite admire those old. I really do admire the old club comics, actually. The way they that style of comedy. I do. What I really liked about it was they always finished everything on a lovely song, didn't they? Whatever they'd said during the show, it didn't matter because they finished a lovely song, just make everyone feel better again, And so I'd finish a filthy, horrible joke and sing a song, and he'd forget all about our horrible joke. Like Bernard Manning gets the punchline of one of his jokes. It'd be something like this. She walked in. Right, I walked in. She was bent over, stark naked, tied up with shoelaces. I said, "Hey, love, I didn't recognise without your teeth in." And he goes, "Feelings! Feelings I can't forget! These feelings of love." Everything feels better again, doesn't it? It's all lovely. Here we go, Mr. Whippy, having a shit. Fly me to the moon and let me play amongst the stars. Let me see what life is like on Jupiter and Mars. Lovely, isn't it? Lovely feeling. Lovely warm feeling you get. Yeah. How would you stop a dog humping your leg? Pick him up, suck his cock. Soft and tanned and young and lovely. Girl from Ipanema goes walking. Goes better than my act, doesn't he? But no, thank you very much for coming. Have a good rest of your week. Thank you. Good night.